Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson.
The revenue workflow. There's a process behind every transaction. Regardless of whether clients sell products or offer services to their customers, they'll need to have a documented workflow to allow them to record transactions accurately. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover best practice customer workflows. Topics: introducing the revenue workflow, overview of sales transactions, sales workflows for different business structures. How can QuickBooks Online help? Clients can choose from a range of transaction types in QuickBooks Online to fit their business structure, revenue type, and sales process. As their accountant, you can coach them about which transaction type to choose and what workflows to follow to meet their needs. Introducing the revenue workflow. Keeping track of deposits and payments is made easy using undeposited funds in QuickBooks Online. Your client can look at the total amount of money received from either cash or check transactions once they've been registered in their QuickBooks Online account before they go to the bank. This is a great way to stay up to date with customer workflows and make sure everything aligns at the end of the month. Watch the video to see what a best practice customer workflow looks like for a simple service-based client. Overview of sales transactions. The table below lists the sales transactions clients are most likely to use. These are the same options that appear in the Customers column when clients select the Plus New button in QuickBooks Online. Note that while posting transactions create a transfer of money between accounts in the chart of accounts, non-posting transactions don't. Type of sales transaction. This transaction type is posting/non-posting to account. Invoice. Transaction form for sales on account. Post to accounts receivable. Receive payment. Transaction form to apply money received to an open invoice. A posting transaction that applies payments to reduce invoice balance. Estimate. Transaction form to quote a future sales transaction. Non-posting transaction that can convert to an active sales form. Credit memo. Transaction form to reduce the amount owed on a customer's account and record the return of goods. Post a credit to reduce a client's accounts receivable balance. Sales receipt. Transaction form for payments at time of sale. Post directly as sales made and monies received ready to be deposited. Refund receipt. Transaction form that records cash back to the customer and the return of goods or services back to the client. Post directly as monies paid back to customers. Delayed credit. Transaction form that records discounts or returns that will be added to an invoice later. Non-posting transaction that can be added to an invoice to decrease the amount billed. Delayed charge. Transaction form that records revenue events that will be added to an invoice later. Non-posting transaction that can be added to an invoice to increase the amount billed. To ensure that clients maintain a well-managed set of books, coach them about how to choose the correct transaction type for each stage of their revenue workflow. Sales workflows for different business structures. The customer workflow that clients should use depends on their business type. Select the tabs to find out more. Simple cash basis business. Simple accrual basis business. Complex accrual basis business. Simple cash basis business. Clients who get paid when the services are rendered or a product is sold can record revenue through a simple cash basis sales workflow. This workflow has the following steps: make sale, receive cash, an ACH transfer, or a check for services rendered or a product sold. Create sales receipts and record them to undeposited funds. Bring the money to the bank. Create a deposit transaction in QuickBooks Online. Match the bank deposit to the bank feed in QuickBooks Online. Simple accrual basis business. For clients who render services rather than sell a product before collecting payment, it's best practice to use a simple accrual basis workflow. The simple accrual basis workflow follows these steps. Provide the service. Invoice the customer. Receive the payment and deposit it to undeposited funds in QuickBooks Online. Bring the money to the bank. Create a deposit transaction in QuickBooks Online. Match the bank deposit to the bank feed in QuickBooks Online. Complex accrual basis business. For clients that have a more complex sales process, it's best practice to use a more complex accrual basis workflow to complete a sale. Examples include businesses that provide estimates of total charges and invoices in installments. The workflow might look like this. A potential customer makes a sales inquiry. Create an estimate of total charges. Customer accepts estimate. Create a progress invoice for a certain percentage of the total charges, invoice 1. Customer pays invoice 1. Receive payment and deposit to undeposited funds in QuickBooks Online. Pay money into the bank. Create deposit transaction in QuickBooks Online. Match bank deposit to the bank feed in QuickBooks Online. As part of the progress invoice, create a second invoice, invoice 2, for the remaining percentage of the estimate. Close the estimate $0. Customer pays invoice 2. Receive payment and deposit to undeposited funds in QuickBooks Online. Bring the money to the bank. Create deposit transaction in QuickBooks Online. Match bank deposit to the bank feed in QuickBooks Online. Summing up. Learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, we covered best practice customer workflows. Knowledge recap. Now you can advise your clients on the best workflows to use with their customers. Next steps. In the next lesson, we'll look at helping clients to navigate the sales center.